Well, good evening, everyone. Namaste, Mabuhay, and thank you for joining us on the last day of our 4-day long online series on Ayurveda. Today, we have with us Dr. Gibsy Sanjeevi George. Dr. George graduated with Bachelor's of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Bangalore, Karnataka, in India, in the year 2011. From 2012 to 2014, he has worked as a trainee Ayurveda doctor and as a consulting doctor in Kerala. After that, Dr. Gypsy has developed an expertise in several diseases like the bone and joint diseases, in spondylitis, paralysis, pediatric cases, skin diseases, and several others. He is also efficient in different kinds of panchakarmas. He has participated and coordinated many CME seminars and medical seminars in Kerala. He is currently a part of Shanti Ayurveda as a resident Ayurvedic doctor, consultant, and trainer. I welcome you, Dr. Gypsy, and now the screen is all yours. Today, he's going to talk to us about the topic Ayurveda in the Philippines, bringing Ayurveda to life in your way. Over to you, Dr. Gypsy.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vishanjali. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Gibsy Sanjeevi George. I'm a resident speaker. I'm a resident doctor in Shanti Ayurveda. Before I start, I would like to thanks for the Indian Embassy and all the officials for inviting us and also giving this a wonderful opportunity to talk about the practice in Ayurveda in Philippines. And also, I'm welcoming all. Have a good evening for all the viewers, all the listeners, Indian, non-Indian, Filipinos. I'm having a just my all my heart. I giving a bowing my head for that. And namaste for all of you. So before we start, I just want to talk about some of the basic uh, modalities of basic knowledge about the Ayurveda. I know we already have several speakers already spoke about the basic concepts of Ayurveda in different um, last 3 days. So I don't want to take much more time for that, but still I just want to uh, some a brief explanation for that. So I think we can start the slides, please. Okay, so I just want to talk about. So today I'm going to share about the practice of Ayurveda in the Philippines. So bringing Ayurveda to life in your way, please. Next clip, please. Okay, so we all already heard about Ayurveda several times, and we know that Ayurveda, which is originated in India more than 5,000 years ago, is one of the oldest continuously practiced holistic healthcare system in the world. So the ancient world of mouth knowledge of Ayurveda is that passes down from one generation to the next in families. And the basic principles of Ayurveda lifestyle principles, the daily routine, and the household influences the rhythms of daily life, the balanced diet. So what to eat every day during season change. Ayurveda talk about the seasonal regimens, home remedies. So these are the common things we can find in the preventive, uh, which is practiced in each and every household. Each and every mother in India know these things. Even while we are sharing the things, we are mentioning that this is a part of our culture. This is the part of our daily regimen. So, so it is in India. It is always in the part of the our culture, our lifestyle. So, but even this emerges from India. It is not only for the one subcontinent. It is the knowledge from the nature. So it is the basic principles, lifestyle we can practice wherever you are, wherever the continent is, wherever the country is. So in any geographical condition, only that we have to know about the knowledge of basic Ayurvedic principles. So that's come here. There's an element of dream of putting of Shanti Ayurveda Center in Philippines that provides natural healing and an Ayurveda institute a center for lifestyle learning for preventing illness and living a healthy life. So, talking about Shanti Ayurveda, this is a dream came from one of the Indian entrepreneur, Mr. Son Roy, and his wife, Dr. Sharon. So they have the passion because they have the knowledge, they have the passion to bring up all this knowledge from India to spread the Ayurveda knowledge in Philippines, because geographically and climatically, this Philippines country is so similar to uh, India in different ways, especially for the practice of Ayurvedic basic principles and also the Ayurvedic clinical modalities. Next clip, please. So, the meaning of Ayurveda. So, we already know it very well, because the Ayu means life, the Veda means knowledge of science. So, this is not just a medical system, or not more than a medical system. We know that it is the knowledge of life, and this is considered as the most ancient medical system ever happened in this world. And so that's why Ayurveda is considered as the mother of all healing procedures. Next, please. Yeah, you can move ahead, please. Please, next, please. So I just want to give some the definitions. Can you go back, please? The previous slide. Yeah, thank you. The definitions of Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is a science by which a man knows about and obtain life. And Ayurveda is a science that deals with things conductive and to adverse to life, and the pathology of the diseases and the treatment of diseases. Ayurveda thus explains a whole way of life embodying not only the physical and psychological aspect, but also the philosophical, ethical, and moral aspects on the one hand, and the individual and the universal health on the other. So, this holistic and the universal concept of health is a contribution of Ayurveda to the world. So, these definitions are important because, as I said, as being a part of culture of our daily life, it deals with the physical, mental, and philosophical, ethical, moral aspects. So that's why I explained a while ago how it becomes the science of life, knowledge of life, to attain the health in every manner. Next slide, please. Okay, you can go ahead, please. Yeah, the aim of Ayurveda. The aim of Ayurveda, there are two major aims for Ayurvedic science. There are to maintain the health of a healthy person, and to cure the disease of the sick people. So, preventive and curative modalities. These are the major two aim of Ayurvedic medical system, our Ayurvedic knowledge. So, when you talk about preventive, all these days we share about the preventive knowledge about the when it comes to the food, when it comes to the lifestyle, when it comes to the daily regimen and the seasonal regimen. These all are the things I will explain very well about the preventive aspect. So, of course, we know that the prevention is always better than cure. So, I rather giving a complete knowledge about how to prevent, not to get sick. So that's the preventive knowledge about. So how to maintain the health of a healthy person. And the second is the cure of the disease. Of course, when you're sick, we have to look for the cure. You have to look for the solution for the diseases or the clinical conditions, concerns we have. So that's the clinical part of Ayurveda. So in the curative way, of course, Ayurveda has its own way of uh, diagnosis, pathological factors, terminologies, medicines, treatments, which I am going to explain later. So this is the two aim of Ayurveda: the preventive and curative aspect is the main aim of Ayurveda. Next slide, please. Okay, so just giving a brief explanation about the basic concept. Of course, when you talk about any any science, any concept or any system, we have to talk about the basic theory, basic concept behind that. So the basic consideration of the five element theory. So Ayurveda, the knowledge of Ayurveda emerged from the five element theory. So we all know that the five elements is the space, the air, fire, water, and earth. So according to we all know that according to the uh, Ayurvedic medical system, Ayurvedic knowledge, everything in this world, everything in this universe. Of course, as I mentioned before, this is a complete medical system which is emerged, developed from the nature. So everything in this nature is made up of the basic five elements called space, wind, fire, water, and earth. So, and from this five element theory, according to Ayurveda, our body, human body, also made up of five elements. Of course, the functions of these five elements: space, we have cavities and tracts. The air is the one responsible for the movements in our body, and the fire is the metabolism, the water binding, the earth structural entities. Just giving a basic idea about the five element theory. So our body also is made up of these five elements. That is so. That's our so everything, like everything in this nature, our body also is dependent on, formed by these five elements. Next slide, please. Yeah. So the functional entities in the human body. So from this five element theory, from this five element concept, Ayurveda explained about three entities, functional entities. I mean, three humors, three constitutions, three body types. Yesterday we talk, the doctor talked about the prakriti, the body constitution. That's the same. So these are the functional entities of uh, our body, human body, according to Ayurvedic medical system. So according to Ayurveda, every function, of course, when you talk about a living being or a human being, human body, we should have to know about the normal functions. So we have function and we have structure. So when you talk about the physical function and the mental function of the human body, everything in our body is controlled by these three humors. That is called the air, fire, and water concept. Okay, so from the five element theory, Ayurveda is able to develop three doshas, which is responsible for the uh, proper functioning, proper physical and mental functioning of the human body. So according to Ayurveda, every functions in our human body is controlled by the air concept and the fire concept and water concept. So for example, air, okay, the air is the one responsible for the neurological function, brain function, all the movements in the body, exchange of gases, micturition, urination, bowel movement, pregnancy, labor, ejaculation of semen. All this movement in our body, whatever the physical movements in the body, all the functions are controlled by the air. And fire is the one responsible for our metabolism, our digestive system, our enzymes, hormones, our liver function, our skin complexion. Everything is controlled by the fire factor. And the kapha is the one responsible for the structural integrity. That means our rejuvenation, revitalization, our bonding, our refreshment, restoration, our immune system. Everything is controlled by, is nourished by the kapha dosha. So these are the functional entities of our human body. That's called the dosha. Next slide, please. Okay, here comes the structural entities. We already finished the functional entities according to Ayurveda. This is the structural. When in the Western medicine we call it anatomy. So when it comes to Ayurveda, our normal structure, development of the structure of the body is depend on the proper nourishment of seven dhadus, called the seven components or seven tissues. That's called the plasma, blood, muscles, fats, bone marrow, and immune system or reproductive fluids. So when you have a meal, when you take the food, the first thing after the proper digestion, after the proper metabolism, the very first thing happen, the very first thing form, with the very first dosha and dhatu form in our body is called rasa. That's called a plasma. So after the proper nourishment of the plasma only, the proper formation of the blood will form. After the proper formation of the blood, then it will lead to the formation of proper muscles, then proper formation nourishment of fats, then it for forming the proper structure of bones and bone marrow, and the last end product is the immune system, reproductive fluids, our vital potency, everything. And I'm sure some of the people here know about the ojas. So complete nourishment of these seven dhadus is considered as the ojas. So this is the structural entity, means our body stabilize, our physically, mentally, everything stabilize. It's just because of the proper nourishment of the seven dhadus. Next slide, please. So, last is next we are talking about the three malas. Three malas is called the body wastes, because naturally every day we have three kinds of waste we are excreting out from the body. So malas are the various waste products of the dhadus produced during the normal metabolic process. So because of this metabolic function, every day we are excreting. We know that we have a excretory system. So of course the feces, the urine, and the sweat, these are the primary waste. Why I'm telling this? Because this is so important to evacuate normally these three wastes from our body day to day, because that's so important in the proper detoxification, purification of our body, the proper evacuation of these three. Because some of the people don't want to get sweat, but sweating is a normal, natural function of the body, and we have to allow it. Next, next slide, please. So, sosta is called the definition of health. WHO is telling that, according to the World Health Organization, we know that health is the complete state of physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So, same in when it comes to Ayurveda, it's already thousands years back. We explained about the definition of health according to Ayurveda. That means if you want to say you are healthy, you have to make sure that our doshas are balanced. I mean, the three doshas, vata, pitta, kapha, and our agni. Agni means our digestive fire, which is responsible for the normal metabolism, normal digestive power. It should be in normal, and a good state of tissues. That means the seven dhadus, which I explained a while ago, should be properly nourished, and their proper metabolic end products called the three mala, the three wastes, should be properly evacuated, and the balanced state of the senses, I mean our all sense organs, like our five senses, should be properly balanced, acuity of the sense organs, and the clarity of the mind and the spirit. So all of which leads to sound. That means a healthy person, I mean, when you talk about how can we uh, proclaim a person is a healthy person, it depends on how their this dosha, their agni, their seven tissues, their proper evacuation of wastes, and the senses of the mind and spirit will be balanced. So these all factors should be properly balanced if you want to be say you are healthy. Okay, so what I want to say that any imbalance of this or this any of these factors, any imbalance of these three doshas, any imbalance happen in the agni, any imbalance happen, actually it's all are started with the three doshas, because any imbalance happen, the three doshas, the vata, pitta, kapha, will lead to the improper formation of the dhadus, will lead to the um, inability to take out the waste from the body, and it will affect the normal balancing of the senses, mind, and spirit. So this imbalance happen to this three dosha always will lead to the diseases or health issues according to Ayurvedic medical system. So can we go to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. So here we explain about the 8 branches of Ayurveda. I mentioned already Ayurveda is a complete medical system. So we have 8 branches in Ayurveda. So what is called Akaya Chikitsa, which is focused on the general medicine, Bala Chikitsa, pediatrics. We know that this general medicine, pediatrics, psychiatry, all these terminologies are Western terminology, but Ayurveda explained this, the one in the left side, the Kaya Chikitsa, Bala Chikitsa. Chikitsa means treatment. Okay, so all these things are explained in Ayurveda thousands years back. So we have 8 branches, which is for the Kaya is for the general medicine, Bala Chikitsa for the pediatrics, Graha Chikitsa means the psychiatry, Urthanga means anything above shoulder, so that's the ENT, and the Shalya Tantra is surgery, Agada Tantra toxicology, Jara Chikitsa, geriatrics. Geriatrics, we know that the people, that's one of the major thing we have, people are suffering from nowadays because of the old age problems. So I would rather have a clear intervention about the geriatric conditions. And of course, Vajikarna, reproductive medicine, that is called Afdiya Sak. Ayurveda deals with the conditions of infertility and everything. So toxicology, surgery, all these things are very well explained in Ayurveda as 8 branches. So everything have their own explanations in that way. Can we move? Yeah. So here just want to explain about the Ayurvedic approach. So I'm explaining about the practice of Ayurvedic medical system in the clinical way in Philippines. So I just want to give some brief explanation about the Ayurvedic approach. What is the Ayurvedic approach for healing and well-being, which is leading to the proper health? Please. So Panchakarma. So when it comes to Ayurvedic treatment or Ayurvedic medical system, Panchakarma is the main modality we have to look for, or that's the one major way we treat the conditions. Not only the curative, also for the prevention also. So the most effectively healing and the preventive modality in Ayurveda that promotes detoxification and rejuvenation. So Panchakarma treatment thoroughly cleanses the body from harmful substances called the stress, disease, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, and unhealthy lifestyle choices. This is so important because nowadays we know, because of the stress we have from the mental physical stress we having and the diseases, poor nutrition, because so many people taking the nutrition by supplements which is not able to provide to the food, and lack of exercise because of the hectic schedules. We have lack of exercise and everything, and unhealthy lifestyle choices, and of course environmental pollution is another factor. So all these things will lead to the imbalance. uh, all these things will lead to the imbalance of the tridosha, which I mentioned a while ago. So that's the way the diseases or any unhealthy conditions in the body occurs according to Ayurveda medical system. So because of the imbalance happened in this body, of course our functions also will be deteriorated, or functions cannot be properly done. So once the tridosha is imbalanced, then it affects the normal functions of the body. Once it affects the normal functions of the body, it will lead to the different imbalances like any health issues, as mental or physical. So when it comes to Ayurveda, according to Ayurveda, it is so important to make the three dosha balance by the proper detoxification and purification. So this Panchakarma treatment, the term comes from the Sanskrit term, the 5 actions or 5 treatments. And this is the ultimate mind-body healing experience for detoxifying the body, strengthening the immune system, restoring balance and well-being, usually herbal and natural methods. Strengthening the immune system is so important nowadays, because of the COVID, because of the pandemic. We know that people looking for the immune system to how to improve. We can tell that very frankly, a pill, a food alone cannot improve your immune system. According to Ayurveda, you see that the last nourishing factor, which is in the seventh dhatu, is the immune system. That means it's so important we have to properly nourish all the seven dhadus, all the formal 6 dhadus, if you want looking for strengthening your immune system. So that means we start with the proper detoxification, purification process, so our body is able to function regularly in the proper manner. Our body have the capacity to function properly, so but we have to make the body efficient to work properly. Next slide, please. So here I just want to name which are the 5. Pancha means 5. Karma means 5 kinds of actions, or 5 kinds of treatments, or 5 kinds of detoxification procedures which Ayurveda have. So first is Vamana. Vamana is vomiting, emesis. So we, in the kapha related conditions, we make the patient vomit. And in the case of Virajana, we do detoxification through purgation. So anything which is related to the pitta predominant diseases, anything related to the liver, anything related to the blood related conditions. So any kind of pitta related conditions, we do detoxification through the purgation. And the vasti, of course, that's one of the main treatment in Ayurveda, the therapeutic enema. In Ayurveda, we are using the kashaya. Kashaya means the decoction enema, sometimes the oil enema, sometimes the medicated milk, enema with the medicated milk. It depends on the condition, because it depends on the concerns, because it depends on the imbalances. The doctors can prescribe, the Ayurveda doctors can decide which is the best uh, decoction or oil we can use for the therapeutic enema. Nasya is a nasal medication cleansing. Yesterday, the the, the the one who talked before, they talk about the Nasya also. So in here we are talking about the clinical intervention, because Nasya is called the nasal medication, which is cleansing the upper body, above shoulder, anything above shoulder. So Nasya is the gate, the nose is the gateway to the brain, according to Ayurvedic medical system. So it cleanses all the channels, it nourishes all the sense organs, and Nasya is the detoxification of the head through the nasal medication. Raktamoshana is called bloodletting. In some cases, we take out the contaminated blood using different modalities. So these are the five uh, treatments, main treatments in Ayurveda. That's called the Panchakarma. Please, next. So I just want to explain some of the Ayurveda treatments we practice, we provide in Shanti Ayurveda Philippines. Please, next, please. So Shanti Ayurveda treatment for bone disorders like low back pain, arthritis, cervical spondylitis, paralysis, and other geriatric complaints. We know that this is very common conditions. More than a disease, is a condition. According to the age, according to the our lifestyle, is very common. This muscle nerve related issues will be emerging day by day. And nowadays we can know that the age is not a factor even for these diseases. So I just want to give some insight on how we treat these conditions, please. Patrapinda Sweda. This is the one treatment which is we are using for the any kind of issues with the strength in the bones and muscles and joints. So in Patra means leaves, Pinda means bolus, and Sweda means is a sweating treatments. Before I explain these treatments, I just want to give one just one sentence about when it comes to Ayurveda treatments. They are divided into two. They are called Shamana, which is palliative, and Shodhana, which is evacuating. Shamana means all the medicines, which is Ayurveda medicines, classical medicines we prescribe in Ayurveda is comes under the Shamana treatment, which is helping and the lifestyle, about the food, about the lifestyle, about the seasonal regimen, daily regimen, everything is comes under the palliative treatment, which is subsiding the conditions. But when you talk about the evacuation, eliminating proper cure of the diseases, that is called the shodhana, which is evacuating the toxins from the body. So these are the treatments we are doing to evacuate the toxins from the body. So again, talking about back to Patrapinda Sweda, in this treatment, we are using the medicated leaves, five kinds of medicated leaves, which is they are properly cooked with the medicated herbs, and we tied it in the bolus and dip into warm medicated oil and massage all of the body simultaneously. So benefits of this treatment is relieving the chronic back pain, stiffness and swellings, muscular pain, spondylitis, rheumatism, and all kinds of sprains and cramps. So this is basically focused on the all the bone related, joint related, or neurological conditions. Please. These are the indications. I mean, which are the condition which is indicated. So Patrapinda Sweda, this treatment is indicated for the neurological disorders, arthritis, myalgia, chronic back pain, sciatica, spondylosis, lumbar spondylitis, cervical spondylitis, sprains and cramps, neuralgia, and the sports injuries and post-traumatic dysfunctions. So these are the uh, health concerns. Means these are the clinical conditions we treat, manage properly with this treatment. Next, please. Benefits, of course, the benefits are that they improve the blood circulation. This is improve the skin complexion, because that's through this treatment we detoxify. Because in Ayurveda, the skin is the largest organ. So as the skin is the largest organ in the body, we use the mode of skin for the proper detoxification. So it will increase the muscle strength, release the body pain and stiffness, and it is an anti-aging and rejuvenating. Next slide, please. This is another treatment we use in the same concern. This is called Nyavarakiri. The another name for this Nyavarakiri is called Shashtiga Shali Pindaseda. So Shashtiga Shali Pindaseda, Shashtiga means this is harvested in 60 days. That's why the potency is really high. And So in this treatment, a cooked rice, is a kind of red rice. We cook with the medicated herbs and mix with the medicated decoction, which is prepared from the kuruntoti. Kuruntoti, the botanical name is Sida rombifolia. So we cook with this. We tied up this medicated rice in a bolus and we dip it in this decoction. So that is called kiri. So with this, using this bolus, the kiri, uh, we are applying all of the after applying the medicated oil, we do the treatment, we massage with this medicated kiri. So this is for the proper nourishment, for proper rejuvenation for the body. So this also comes under the care of rheumatism, anti-aging, and the geriatric concern. The people who are having muscle wasting, the people who are having neurological problems, we treat this condition. Next, please. So benefits of Navarakiri. It tones and strengthens the muscles and enhance the nerve conductivity, because we know that the neurological functions is so important at that point. And it treats arthritis, boosts immunity, strengthens sense organs, improves the digestion, helps mind and body relax, and the release stress, anxiety, and fatigue, and rejuvenates the whole body. So these are the benefits of this treatment. Next, please. Nasya. This is another, already we mentioned about Nasya a while ago. This is the one of the important medical practice, one of the major treatment in the Panchakarma when it comes to Ayurveda medical practice. So in this treatment, the pouring of we pour a medicated herbal oil into the nose. So anything above shoulder, any health concerns related to the above shoulder, we treat with the nasal medication. So it is indicated in sinusitis, cervical spondylitis, all kinds of brain disorders, central nervous system, and the migraine. Also, we in the case of mental disorders, in the case of paralysis, stroke patients, we do this treatment to for the proper cleansing. So it enhances the sensory acuity and promotes mental clarity. So the duration of the treatment is 20 to 30 minutes actually. Next, please. So these are the indications I already explained. So allergic rhinitis, dryness of the eyes, facial paralysis, frozen shoulder, hoarseness of the voice, migraine, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson, shoulder pain, sinusitis. So, but everything should be under the guidance of a medical doctor, under the guidance of an Ayurveda doctor. So, but because for every concerns, the medicines we are using is unique, is different to each other. Next, please. So these are the benefits. Indication is of course different from the benefits, because when it comes to benefits, that is like a bonus. So ensure the proper and healthy growth of hair. The therapy enhances the activity of sense organs and protects the person from diseases pertaining to the head. And the early aging process is effectively prevented by regular. That's why in the lifestyle they talk about nasya, because the people who practice nasya day-to-day life, they will have effectively, they can control the early aging and the premature graying of the hair. So these are the benefits we can get from the nasya treatment. Next, please. Griva Vasti. So Griva, the meaning of Griva is neck. Griva Vasti means the holding, the oil. So this procedure, you can know that due to the present day lifestyle, because nowadays we have spent a lot of time in front of the computer, we spend a lot of time in front of the cell phone. So that posture, because of the sitting posture continuously, we are really hanging our heads into that social media things. What happened in that position? It will lack, because of lack of body movements. It leads to the improper circulation. The blood will not be properly circulated, so it's affect uh, the the condition, like it will lead to the formation of spasm in the neck region, and that's the beginning of everything. But eventually this will lead to the musculoskeletal conditions of the neck and shoulder, which is called the cervical spondylitis or cervical spondylosis. So these are the very common condition we can see nowadays, especially the people who are working in the IT field, people who are working in the offices, they will suffer from this condition. So this is the one treatment we do. We holding the medicated oil to treat the spine, to nourish the spine. In this condition, we have to focus on the spine which is affected. in this clinical practice. So the treatment lasts for 30 to 40 minutes. It depends on the severity of the condition. Next slide, please. As I mentioned already, cervical spondylosis, cervical spondylitis, cervical dissolution, vertigo, tingling, numbness of the hands, compression fractures, chronic pain of the neck region, frozen shoulder, degeneration of the spine. These are the conditions we treat with the treatment Grivavasti. Next, please. So same like Grivavasti, of course, Janu means the knees. You know that when it comes to arthritis, it's very common that the knees are affected very badly. Our body don't have the capacity to carry the weight, so it affects the normal nourishment of the knees. So this is the treatment we do to rejuvenate the knee joint, and in this treatment we hold the medicated oil to nourish the knee joints. Next, please. Indications: osteoarthritis of the knee joints, osteoporosis, arthrosis of the knee joints, and the benefits are it removes the stiffness and pain in knee joints, protects the knee joints from degenerative changes, increases the blood circulation, that strengthens and nourishes the knee joints, improves the mobility of knee joints. You know that is very common condition nowadays. People have rheumatoid arthritis, even the early age of 30s, 40s, they already have these concerns. So, but you know that we have to understand surgery is not the first option. We have a lot of things to do in the matter of this osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis conditions. So this is the one treatment we provide in Shanti Ayurveda to manage these conditions. Please, next. So same like the other two, Kadivasti. Kadi means the low back. So that's why I call it Kadivasti. Kadivasti is a special type of low back therapy or lumbar sacral regeneration therapy using hot oil and herbal decoctions. So duration is 30 to 40 minutes, depends on the severity. So in this condition, we can see the position of keeping the dough with the medicated oil in the lower back. Next, please. Here are the indications of the Kadivasti treatment: chronic back pain, degenerative spine changes, compressed disc and spinal nerves, and disc prolapse, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis of the hip, rheumatic arthritis, sciatica. These are the indications because the clinical conditions we treat with the Kadivasti, and these are the localized treatment in Ayurveda. And this all comes under the part of Panchakarma treatments. Benefits are it will reduce the pain and inflammation. It improves the blood circulation around the lumbosacral area. It removes rigidity and spasm of the muscles around lumbosacral region. Nourishes and strengthens the bones, connective tissues, ligaments, nerves, muscles of the lumbosacral region, and lubricates the joints. So these are the indications and the benefits of the Kadivasti treatment. Next, please. So we already finished. The how we manage in according to Ayurveda. When it comes to Ayurveda, how we treat, how we manage the, the degenerative, geriatric, or anything related with the muscles, bones, and the nerves. So there are many other treatments out there which I cannot explain everything. We have limited time, but somehow you guys have an idea now how we manage these conditions. So next we talk about the Shanti Ayurveda treatments we provide here for the skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, and dermatitis and allergies. Please. Next, please. Takradhara. The meaning of Takradhara, Takra is called medicated buttermilk, and Dhara is called the continuous pouring. So Takradhara means you can see that continuous pouring of medicated buttermilk processed with medicated herbs over the forehead. So this is one of the major treatment we prescribe for the insomnia conditions, stress, because you can see most of the skin diseases are related to the stress related. Most of my patients are complaining that when they have stress, the skin diseases develop, manifest, and they aggravate. So this is the one treatment we provide for dealing with the stress and skin diseases. Also, it promotes mental clarity and emotional happiness. Next, please. The benefits of Takradhara: premature graying of hair, prevents the premature graying of hairs, reduce fatigue and emaciation, release migraine headache, reduce pricking type of pain at the completely neurological, Also, the hormonal imbalance, release, loosening of joints, anorexia, and improves appetite. So also practically it's good in obtaining diabetic and psoriasis. So that is totally a mind-related thing when you treat the psoriasis condition. So that's the one major treatment we can provide. We can experience in Ayurveda when you're looking for the management of skin diseases. Next slide, please. Jalavagatana, least therapy. This is the one of the major treatment we do for dealing with the conditions of any kind of skin diseases. Jalauga means the name of the Sanskrit name for the leeches is Jalauga, which is remaining in the water. So this is the most effective therapy, bloodletting therapy. When we mention about the five Panchakarma treatment, we talk about bloodletting. So this is the one of the easiest way we can take out the contaminated blood. So in this treatment, what we do, we use the medicated non-poisonous leeches to take out the contaminated blood from the body. According to Ayurveda, any skin diseases happen because of the imbalance of the pitta dosha. That means it happened because the disease manifests because of the contamination of the blood. So our our motive is to take out the contaminated blood from the infected area, because once you take out the contaminated blood, it will be easy for the body to heal faster than anything. Next slide, please. Indication of leech therapy. I told you the blood vitiated with the pitta dosha, diabetic ulcers, varicose vein, gout arthritis, sciatica, acne vulgaris, osteoarthritis, chronic skin diseases like eczema, psoriasis, abscess, herpes, hemorrhoids. These are the conditions we treat with the leech therapy. Therapeutic actions, it is anti-inflammatory, increases the blood circulation, it's an analgesic, thrombolytic, because it dissolves the blood clot, and it have an antimicrobial activity. So of course, it's all comes under the guidance of the medical doctor, which is an expert. So you don't need to worry or scared about that. It's very a common practice, which is there for in India for more than thousands years. It is practicing very successfully. Next slide, please. Please. Yeah. Shanti Ayurveda treatment for insomnia, sleep apnea, and mental disorders. Please. We all know that sleeping disorders, insomnia, and of course, when you have a sleeping disorder or any kind of a difficulty in sleeping or insomnia, automatically it will lead to the mental disorders or mental imbalance. So nowadays, especially this community or this generation, especially any kind of profession, we know that this is very common that we have a lot of stress, mental and physical stress, and because of the character of the job, we are not able to sleep properly, we are not able to have a complete sleep. So it automatically affects the normal nourishment of the body, normal rejuvenation of the body. So it is so important to have a proper sleep. According to Ayurveda, we know that the three pillars of life is food, sleep, and exercise. So sleep is so important when it comes to the proper nourishment and the proper management of health for any person. So Abhyanga, this is one of the major treatment we are doing for the improving the sleep or treating the insomnia condition. So it's a whole body massage given to with the herbal medicated oil, and it is customized to the body type. I told you, according to the Vata Pitta Kapha body type, we decide what oil is best for them. It is performed by two skilled therapists using the synchronized rhythmic flowing strokes designed to reach the deepest layers of the tissues of the body. And this treatment is done in 7 positions. And so the rhythm, the synchronization is so important. Each and every part of the body should be reached with the medicated oil, should be properly massaged, and there should be a particular pressure per particular stroke for all these treatments. It detoxifies and deeply relaxes the mind and body, and the duration of the treatment is 40 to 60 minutes. So that's why this is called as the mother of all massages. Please. Abhyanga benefits. It delays aging, it removes fatigue, improves eyesight, induces longevity, and induces sleep, and improves immunity, and improves complexion and luster of the skin. Also, it increases the physical and mental strength. Next slide, please. Shirodhara, this is another major. I'm sure so much of people will be so fascinated, so commonly know about this condition, this treatment. Shirodhara, Shiro means the head. Dhara means pouring of the medicated oil. So this is one of the major treatment we do in Ayurveda. In this procedure, the pouring of a medicated herbal oil across the forehead to bring about physical and emotional balance and rejuvenation. It releases stored emotions, purify the mind, rejuvenate the spirit, and preserve the health. And it's also calm the nerves, harmonize the body constitutions. The duration of the treatment is 45 minutes. Next slide, please. So benefits. The benefits of Shirodhara is, of course, the premature graying of hair, the fatigue, headache, any kind of headache, the pricking pains of palms and sores. This is totally related to the nervous function of the body, diabetic neuropathy, ENT diseases, improving the power of all sense organs, insanity, mental disorders, facial palsy and paralysis. So that's the one major treatment we practice in Ayurveda to treat any kind of neurological imbalances and mental instability. Also, the stress-related conditions. Next slide, please. Yeah. So Shanti Ayurveda treatment for lifestyle diseases like obesity, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. Of course, it's also an important topic because we know that most of the diseases happening nowadays for everybody is because of the wrong lifestyle. So that's why Ayurveda give a clear intervention about what are the normal lifestyle we have to follow in the matter of food, in the matter of lifestyle, in the matter of regimen. But of course, it's really, even though we are following sometimes sometimes we get to infected with some conditions and we develop because of the hereditary conditions, because of our job, because of our profession, because of our lifestyle. So it leads to the formation of obesity, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes conditions, acidity, atherosclerosis. These are the common lifestyle diseases we experience in nowadays. So we Shanti Ayurveda have proper management. We have success stories in the managing of all these lifestyle diseases, along with this knowledge of the food and the lifestyle. Next slide, please. This is one of the major treatment we do to manage these conditions. Udvartana. The meaning of ud is called going upward, and that means against to the hair follicles. So this is the one treatment we do going upward direction, which is against the hair follicles. So this is a very effective treatment for the obesity and weight loss in Ayurveda. And in this treatment, the herbal powder, medicated herbal powder, there are different. Also, it's also customized according to the condition. So in this treatment, the herbal powder is applied all over the body and deeply massaged with the long flowing movements and two train therapies. So it exfoliates out the skin and the dead skin also, and the leave the skin silky smooth. So the major indication of this treatment is focusing on the reducing of the fat, the weight loss, and the treating the obesity condition. Also the conditions like in some kind of skin diseases also, we do this treatment for the proper rejuvenation of the skin back to normal. Next slide, please. The Udvartana benefits. So here we talk about the benefits of Udvartana. So it helps in weight reduction. It softens and exfoliates the dead skin, thereby giving a lustrous glow of the skin. Detoxification, as I mentioned before, skin is the largest organ of the body. So we use the skin to detoxify completely. So we detoxify, they purify, for the proper toning of the skin, and eliminates the bad body odor, strengthens and tones up the muscles, refreshes and rejuvenates the body, improves the circulation by increasing the basal metabolic rate. So that is so important. The circulation also important, even the any conditions. The people, because of the sitting for a long time or the posture things or any other clinical condition, it affects the normal circulation of the blood. And in this treatment, we'll focus on the circulation, proper circulation of the blood throughout the organs, and also it prescribe indicator for reducing the blood cholesterol conditions. Next slide, please. So uh, from all these treatments we talk about, this about pancha treatments, uh, still is the basic start from the how imbalanced the Vata Pitta Kapha is. I wouldn't able to explain all the treatments in Ayurveda, but I just explained some of the major treatments we do in Ayurveda for the proper management of the condition. So I'm just winding up, concluding by in conclusion, I just want to say that we all know that Ayurveda is spreading all over the world because the awareness of Ayurveda is rapidly increasing, and many people experience the benefits across the world, across the globe. So it is growing because the popularity spread because it's already tried and tested for thousands of years in India. So and also how it is scientifically proven with different studies. So such that the Western culture is embraced in the same way, uh, the way it is the Western world accept the yoga, they started accepting Ayurveda around the globe. So the main aim of Shanti Ayurveda we here to promote, to provide the Ayurvedic treatment, the authentic Ayurvedic treatment, which is the way we practice in India, the same. We are providing the same way here in this beautiful country. So, talking about Ayurveda again is a very simple and cost effective healthcare solution that benefits humanity in all aspects in life. And at Shanti, we are committed to provide the traditional and the authentic healing of Ayurveda and that have been practiced for thousands of years in India, and to teach the Ayurveda lifestyle to the children, to the families, and to communities to understand how to ancient medical science is relevant today in our everyday life and well-being goals. So your life transforming holistic journey and Ayurveda is beginning here. That's all for today. Thank you so much.